Since 2004, Iowa livestock farmers have turned to the coalition to support Iowa's farmers for free, confidential, and expert assistance in raising livestock responsibly and successfully. Join us at the fence line to hear from industry experts and farmers about topics important to livestock agriculture here in Iowa. The fence line, where the gates always open. Welcome to another edition of The Fence Line. Bob Quinn here for The Fence Line. The Fence Line is a production of the Coalition to Support Iowa's Farmers, the livestock folks here in the state of Iowa. For more information on programs offered by the Coalition, you can check out their website, supportfarmers.com. That's supportfarmers.com. And on The Fence Line today, we're going to talk about some of the services offered by the Coalition. Start off with the Good Farm Neighbor Award and the Working Good Farm Neighbor Award. I can give you a little background on that, and then we're going to talk with Cody Havens. Cody is a field specialist with the Coalition to Support Iowa's Farmers. The Good Farm Neighbor Award was named after farm broadcaster Gary Wergen. He was a farm broadcaster at WHO Radio and came up with an idea to go out in the countryside and visit with producers in their field and maybe do a program over the lunch hour. It was the Helping Hand Award, and he was looking for people doing good things out in the countryside. Well, Gary passed away, and the award itself was renamed the Wergen Good Farm Neighbor Award. And we rely on folks around the state to nominate their good farm neighbors. We're going to talk with Cody about that a little bit, but we have presented many Good Farm Neighbor Awards and look forward to presenting many more. The Coalition are the ones that take care of the nomination process and getting everything lined up, so we'd like to be out talking with your Wergen Good Farm Neighbor Award. Let's bring Cody in here. Cody Havens is field specialist with the Coalition. Good Farm Neighbor Award, Cody, what can you tell me about it? What's it all about?
Yeah, the Wergen Good Farm Neighbor Award recognizes Iowa livestock farmers who take pride in doing things right, and they go above and beyond in their environmental stewardships and in their communities. They're great animal caretakers, and it's a great opportunity to tell the story of the responsible livestock farming that we have in Iowa and be able to celebrate with them in their communities and really just tell the story for Iowa producers.
And, you know, that goes back to the basis of what the Coalition is all about. You mentioned livestock. And it is a requirement of the Good Farm Neighbor Award that the folks are livestock producers, but that's who you work with on a day-in, day-out basis. I'm going to ask you, who should be calling you guys? Who should be contacting you guys to find out more about your services?
Yeah, anybody that is a producer of animal livestock, whether they want to continue to grow the livestock operation that they have or they want to build new, or anybody that's wanting to bring the next generation back and need to expand, make a little bit more income and a little bit more room for the next generation to come in.
So you're the field specialist.
Yes.
So when someone calls in and says, look, I'm thinking about maybe building a new barn, new feed area, maybe want to add livestock back to the operation, you're the guy that actually goes out to the farm.
Yeah, no, I'll go out to the farm, meet with the producer, take a tour of their operation and really listen to what their dreams are and which direction they want to go, help them decide what's the right move next, make those rules and regulations adapt to that farmer and kind of the needs that they need and really help them out in taking that next step.
So how far out in front of maybe the operation should they be calling you guys?
The earlier the better, you know, even if I've got guys that'll call me that are just throwing the idea around, or maybe guys that are 2-3 years out yet, but they want to start the planning process and really kind of get an idea of what they need to do and the different things that they need to go about as they do it. You know, if you're getting closer and kind of want to do something next month, we can certainly come out and help and jump in whenever you need, but the earlier the better.
Well, here's the tie-in then to the Wergen Good Farm Neighbor Award. We mentioned it's folks doing good things out there, and one of the things that you emphasize, I know, when you visit people, is to be a good neighbor and maybe let folks in the area in on what you might be doing on your farm.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about neighbor relations almost every time I go out and meet with a farmer. It's very important, not only for your relationship in your community, but just for animal agriculture as a whole, to keep the communication on the forefront, telling them what's going on and making sure that they know, because if you don't go tell them, somebody else might, and it might not be 100% accurate.
Now, do you work with all species of livestock?
Yep, all species of livestock across the board.
And all ages of producers as well?
Yep. Yeah, we'll work with anybody that's in college that's coming out, or somebody that's been feeding for 60 years or a generational farm too.
Well, let's get back to that Oregon Good Farm Neighbor Award, because it's one of the things we talk a lot about throughout the year, and you're the presenting sponsor. The coalition is the presenting sponsor of the Oregon Good Farm Neighbor Award. Kind of describe the nomination process. How do you do that?
Yeah, so the easiest way is go to our website at supportfarmers.com. We'll have a drop down there for the Oregon Good Farm Neighbor Award, and then a short little questionnaire that you'd fill out, just some information on the producer, what they do, why you think they're a good nomination. We'll reach out to them, set some up, go out, meet with them, do an interview process with them, fill out a questionnaire, and just kind of work with them from there.
I should know the answer to this, but I can't remember off the top of my head. How many awards have we presented?
We've presented 191 awards across the state of Iowa.
191 awards. How about that? And almost every county. We still have some counties we'd like to backfill. In fact, I believe the coalition has on their website somewhere a map.
Yes, we have a map, and I think we're getting to about a dozen counties left that we need to fill. We have a few of them coming up this year that will get filled in, so hopefully we'll get down under that 10 mark. But yeah, continuing to work to get to every county and go and celebrate with everybody across the state of Iowa.
Well, everybody has a good farm neighbor nearby. I always say, how do you find your good farm neighbor? Look out your window. It's probably that guy or gal who lives just across the way a little bit, and we'd sure like to find out about them. So you get on that website and nominate your Oregon Good Farm Neighbor Award. Again, the website is, the coalition's website is supportfarmers.com. One of the other programs offered through the coalition is the Green Farmstead Partner Program. Cody, let's talk a little bit about trees here. When was the Green Farmstead Partner Program started, and how many trees have you guys worked on?
Yeah, this program was started in 2009 to help producers put up windbreaks around their livestock feeding facilities. We planted over 80,000 trees across the state of Iowa, just helping with different areas to help with wind screening and stuff like that.
80,000 trees. Wow, that's a pile of trees. Hey, who should be planting trees? And maybe I should ask the question, and I'm sure farm operators would ask the question, why should I plant trees?
Yeah, I think planting trees is great for any operation, especially livestock operations. You know, the number one reason that people plant these windbreaks is for neighbor relations, whether that's odor mitigation or just wind screening, wind barrier, help with snow deposition. And then also, too, you talk about it, people can see it, they can smell it. A lot of times you make that vision away, then they can't smell it anymore. So I think it's a really great way to help with neighbor relations and build and show that farmers are doing good things and giving back.
Are you finding out that there's a better time of the year to plant trees?
Yeah, it's a good time to start the planting in the spring, or plan the plantings in the spring. Get with your nursery professional, kind of decide on when the best time in the year to get those windbreaks put in and planted, so that way they can start off on a good note.
Now, when you're out there, a lot of times you're siting in maybe a new feeding area, a new barn, anything on the farm. And if you're planting trees, how far away from the building do you plant trees?
Yeah, our rule of thumb, we usually like to tell people at least 80 foot from your building or feedlot. That helps a lot with snow deposition, so that way the snow is going where you want it and maybe not in the lot or in the barn or maybe in the feed alley. Also, that helps with wind, too, so that way you're still getting a breeze there. We've noticed if you get them too close, you could hinder the breeze going through there to cool the animals. So, yeah, we usually go rule of thumb of 80 foot.
So why should you partner with the coalition in that Green Farmstead Partner Program?
Yeah, it's a great program because we have over 20 nursery professionals that know farming and they know animal agriculture and where you can and shouldn't put trees. They go out there and instead of just putting a bunch of trees around your operation, they think about where you're going to be driving your tractor or if you need to pump manure, things like that, access to fields. So we have nursery professionals that are well-rounded in the ag industry that can also help you plan that and really come up with ideas of where a windbreak would most benefit your operation.
So you guys are actually working with the boots in the ground, eyeballs out in the field in the area that they're going to be planting. You got some professionals that live right, probably not too far away.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got enough across the state of Iowa that we try to get you hooked up with somebody that's in your neighborhood.
Cody Haven's with us talking Green Farmstead Partner Program. Now, we mentioned the Oregon Good Farm Neighbor Award. Another thing that we get a chance to talk to on the big show on WHO Radio and WMT Radio is the Farming for Your Future Friday programs. And that's another service and another program that's sponsored by the Coalition to Support Iowa's Farmers. And we were on a recent field trip down to 𝘊𝘰𝘢𝘬 County, Farming for Your Future, Friday, sponsored by the Iowa Corn Growers, and caught up with the Coalition's Brian Waddingham. Brian, we are literally standing out in the field. We're next to a gravel road, and we had 0.6 of an inch of rain last night. We're in 𝘊𝘰𝘢𝘬 County, not too far from Morning Sun. 0.6 of an inch of rain. Now, there's not dust coming off the gravel, but I would imagine by 1, 2 o'clock this afternoon, there probably will be, just to attest to how dry it's been here. Yeah, it's just it's kind of odd to see mud, after it's been, several months with no rain. So, it's well-timed down here in southeast Iowa for sure. We've got a dozen or so people out here that have come over today, and to a person, they get out of the car and look down and kind of toe the mud and kind of look up and grin a little bit then, too. So it must have been a celebratory event last night, seeing some rainfall. In central Iowa, we had plenty of noise, but we didn't get much rain. No, we didn't get a drop in central Iowa. Well, hey, let's talk about the coalitions and some of the services provided to producers. What are you talking about? You talked livestock producers, basically all species and all ages as well. Yeah, and really no matter your production practice, if you're confinement, open lots, on pasture, we can help answer any questions that you have about either maybe expanding your livestock operation or starting your first livestock operation, and all that's available, all of our services at no charge and completely confidential. Now, we're here in row crop country, of course, and we're in corn and beans. In fact, we're in corn and bean field right now. And we had talked a little bit about where some of this corn goes in the ethanol plant, but still, majority of the corn from here probably goes into livestock. Yeah, I think right here from where we're standing, I can see 6 hog barns and a pasture full of cows. So yeah, there's no doubt that livestock plays a big part in consuming that corn and soybeans that's raised throughout the state of Iowa. Now we're coming into a time when we're going to be out of the field. And a lot of meetings going on. You have a meeting coming up, I believe, next month. Yeah, November 21st, we'll be at the FFA Enrichment Center in Ankeny with our Farming for the Future conference. And the focus on that conference is going to be cost share and low interest loan programs available to livestock farmers that are looking to put up new barns, new feedlots, maybe make some improvements to those existing facilities. So it's a meeting you don't want to miss if you're thinking about doing some growth on the livestock farm. Now, you have a chance to talk to not only producers, but also folks in the industry and talking about new barns. What's the demand like? Are they getting some traction to do some building? Yeah, we still get calls to come out. A lot of what we're looking at today is on cattle farms, also dairies. We're still putting up new calving barns, finishing barns, as well as seeing some dairy expansion. Maybe they want to add a robot, or they just want to, it's time to update their parlor. So you might as well expand a little bit when you do that. So we're just making sure they understand the more than 250 pages of rules and regs that go with livestock and poultry farms today. 250 pages of rules and regulations. And that doesn't mean that we're not going to see a little more fine-tuning and adjustment made in the year ahead as well. So as far as inspections and making sure you're within those rules and regulations, you folks can help out farmers as well. Yeah, if you want to make sure your farm's going to pass an inspection by DNR or EPA, we can come out, do an assessment, and just give you peace of mind that your farm would pass an inspection. Or maybe we do have to offer you a few suggestions on some improvements you can make. But again, all of that's available at no charge and completely confidential. We were talking on the way down today. We drove over from central Iowa, and we were talking about manure application. And we're coming into the manure application season as well. But it'd be nice to get a little bit more moisture. Yes, it would. Especially even if you're not applying livestock manure, the anhydrous that's going on, you need a little wetness in that ground to make sure it seals up nice. So again, and as manure application season is here, just make sure you're following your manure management plan if you have one. If you don't have a plan, we do recommend that you still jot down what fields you're hauling on, how many tons an acre or gallons an acre you're applying. All that just goes, to help you make some adjustments next year when you plant that crop. Well, talk about how folks can get a hold of you
The best way is to give us a call, 800-932-2436, or you can find out more about us online at supportfarmers.com.
Who you been hearing from lately as far as maybe livestock? Hearing from the hog guys, hearing from the poultry people?
Probably number one call today is on cattle. Again, looking at adding capacity, whether it's in open lots, new bedded barns, slat barns, maybe time to put cows under roof. So again, mostly cattle calls right now, but we do hear from all species yet today about making some changes or maybe adding a new barn if we can bring a son or daughter back, that sort of thing.
Well, we would certainly like to see more cattle numbers here in the state of Iowa. Cattle on Feed report, I believe, is coming out this afternoon. It'll probably show again that our herd is not increasing. We keep sending the factory into the processing plants.
Yeah, that's one area we really need to grow here in Iowa. I think, makes a lot of sense to expand that cow herd here, and we've got all the corn, as we're talking about today, to feed those calves out. So, some more cows in Iowa would be great.
And with the cover crop situation and also the stocks out here, you got some good grazing ground as well.
Yeah, I mean, we're suited to raise livestock here in Iowa, whether it's cattle, hogs, poultry, dairy. So we just got to have the right timing and a few things to go our way here and make that happen.
SupportFarmers.com is where you find Brian and the gang from the Coalition. Coalition Support Iowa's Farmers and the Iowa Corn Growers. Recently, we were in the field wrapping up harvest with Victoria Armstrong with the Iowa Corn Growers. Victoria is the field representative for District 9. Let's listen in on that program. Victoria, you kind of run this part of the state for corn growers.
I do, yeah. I cover southeast Iowa and the 11 counties down here for crop reporting District 9.
How's things going in the district as far as harvest?
They're really good. I met with a couple farmers yesterday who had wrapped up. A lot of the people I've talked to are going to be done here in the next week, hopefully no later than the end of the month.
And you live in?
I live in Albia, Iowa.
Okay, well, you're over not too far from Cargill-Eddyville then.
No, really, really close to Cargill-Eddyville. We actually had a harvest meal there last week with Iowa soybeans.
Harvest meal. Tell me about that.
Harvest meals. They're awesome. They're one time of the year we can easily access farmers and say thank you. We've done thousands of meals across the strait between me and my coworkers. And Cargill-Eddyville, they have about 60 trucks there within an hour. So we set up over lunch for a 2-hour period. Did over 120 box lunch meals just to say thank you and continue doing what you're doing, and had farmers from all over the area stop by for some free lunch and goodies.
Now, you're one of the folks that talks about the benefits of being a member of the Iowa Corn Growers, some of the things that you get involved with. So kind of run through your speech. What would you do if you wanted to recruit some members here?
I'm biased, so I think Southeast Iowa is the best part of the state to live in and to be in, but also...
Everybody in the 11 county area would agree with you. You know that?
Yes. We also have, I think, some of the best county local corn groups and corn boards. I have some awesome directors that you've heard earlier between Dan and Paul, but they're also, if they didn't mention, they're also presidents and active members on their local county corn board in Louisa County and in Des Moines County. So our county corn boards are awesome. They put on fantastic events. My Louisa and Des Moines County Corn Board put on a carbon and cover crops workshop there at the end of August, and we're going to replicate that on the western part of my district also. And we just offer some really great free experiences if you're ever in the mood to go to the Burlington Crop Advantage Series. We offer free admission for all Iowa Corn members there, and for a short fee of $60 a year annually, you can be a member of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and make an impact and be involved.
You know, we talk a lot about what corn growers do and how the corn growers do things like develop markets for corn and talk about that. But you also are on the production side as well. A lot of your meetings that happen, particularly during the winter, you talk about production, and it's kind of cool because you get it right in their own backyard area.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what do you have coming up this winter?
This winter, like I said, we have the Burlington Crop Advantage Series. That'll be early January. We're also going to talk about international markets and world markets and how we're developing those markets overseas. Here, January 10th, we're going to host a members-only banquet in Southeast Iowa, and we're going to have guest speakers from the U.S. Grains Council and U.S. Meat Export Federation come and talk to our producers about how their dollars are going towards checkoff dollars are going towards supporting U.S. Grains Council and USMEF, and showing you how the bottom line is impacted by our international trade.
Yeah, here's one for you. we know a lot about ethanol. We hear a lot about the ethanol market, right?
Yeah.
And in fact, there's an ethanol plant not too far from here.
Nope.
Which helps. Well, I'm talking to someone from Albia. You probably live in the shadow of the Cargill plant there.
Yes, I do.
So you know what a good basis you might enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost an immediate jolt in price, that ethanol market. So it's easy to see that. But how about livestock? You work in some pretty strong livestock areas of the state as well.
I do. I live in cattle country in the southern part of the state.
You a cattle producer?
I am. Yep. I do produce
No
cattle.
kidding.
Small level with my husband. We raise some cattle down there in Albia, but we
What kind
really
of cattle
enjoy
you raise?
Angus.
Angus.
Yeah, yeah.
You're looking at me like, what other breed is there?
So, we have some fantastic statistics that I like to use all the time, but when we're exporting U.S. meat, whether it's corn, pork, beef, poultry, through the Meat Export Federation, they can add over $400 a head to cattle in the markets just through that international market. And then for pigs, it's somewhere around $40 to $70 per head.
Well, you are certainly sitting in a state that number one in pork production.
Absolutely.
And you may argue with Illinois on this, maybe number one or two in corn production, right?
Yep.
Yeah, because people in Illinois like to put their foot on the scale a little bit. At least that's what I've heard. And number one in soybeans. Top 6, 7 in cattle production, number one in egg production. So livestock is a big part of grain production here in Iowa.
It is huge, and we're not too far here in Morning Sun from Washington County, which is the number one pork producing county.
Are they number
in the
one
state.
now?
They are, yeah.
I'm
They're
surprised
awesome.
they haven't got a sign out on the road over there.
I think they do. They have plenty, but we have an awesome group, also county group there in Washington County. They host a huge Field and Friends party in January too, so another fun winter meeting where we thank the farmers and explore agriculture and all it has to offer locally.
You know, Washington County also, I believe, is number one in cover crops being planted.
Yeah.
As well. So no, we have a good time with all of our farm listeners. You bet we do. We love being out in the field today. Big thank you to the Iowa Corn Growers Coalition to Support Iowa's Farmers. Where you find out more is at their website. Coalition to Support Iowa's Farmers website is supportfarmers.com. FenceLine is a production of the Coalition to Support Iowa's Farmers. My name is Bob Quinn, and I'll see you again along the fence line.